off this off-spec petrol from the polity. Okay, so whether that has been done or not, the last report we heard was that some of these filling stations still have this off-spec petrol. Okay, when we talk of off-spec petrol, we're talking of a commodity that is not meant to serve Nigerians, because we had some motorists who actually stock their cars with this particular product, I mean petrol, and of course it affected their cars, it damaged it. Okay, and so the government had said that it will take responsibility, though we are aware that there is this buck passing between the marketers and the government as regards who exactly is to bear the brunt of these, talking about compensating, okay, the car owners as it were. But that is not where we are going to. It's becoming a lingering crisis. 2 days ago, Timi Presiva, the substantive Minister of State for Petroleum, appealed to Nigerians to be patient. But how long, okay, will Nigerians be patient? How long? That is the question that many people are asking. And don't forget that oil is the mainstay of Nigerian economy, precisely fuel. So when anything happens to fuel, you know that the economy will be the hardest hit, and that is exactly what is happening now. Now things have gone so bad to the extent that the Trade Union Congress, okay, an affiliate of the NUC, is contemplating asking workers to stay back at home, because how do you expect workers to go to work if they cannot transport themselves? So as we speak today, we have across the country, we have some filling stations selling between 180 to 195 to 200 naira, and of course you have some that are selling at regulated price. But of course you can be rest assured that if you are going to buy those filling stations that are selling at regulated price, you may have to spend the whole of the day, and of course there are no assurances, there is no guarantee that you're going to get this product there. So mobility has become a topical issue among Nigerians. Nigerians are suffering. The federal government is asking Nigerians to, be patient. That we're going to be looking at on the program today. I'm going to call for some reports from our studios of what our reporters find out on the streets. Nigerians are lamenting, they are complaining, they want a lasting solution to be put to this. Interestingly, you would recall that if there is anything in whose euphoria this current administration basks, it is the fact that since President Muhammadu Buhari came on board, there has never been any time that Nigerians have had cause to queue for too long a time to get this petrol, which is an essential commodity in Nigerian polity. But what is happening at this time? There is this suspicion in some quarters that the federal government may just technically want to hike the pump price of fuel. Know that everything, okay, that has come to stay in Nigeria will usually start from the realm of rumors. So you want to believe this kind of conspiracy theory whenever they are thrown up, because you look at the trajectory of the fuel increment, the pump price increment we've had in Nigeria, you will discover that what precedes each of the increment is actually fuel scarcity. So when this fuel crisis, the government or relevant authorities will have the opportunity to hike the price. But can Nigeria afford to buy it more than this price that it is presently, 162 naira? That's the regulated price. But don't forget that the federal government told Nigerians that at that price it is paying subsidy. That's another ball game entirely. The organized labor will say there is nothing like subsidy because the NNPC is the sole importer. But with the importation of the off-spec petrol into the country, we've got to know, we've learned that it's not only NNPC, okay? We have some marketers that have been importing this fuel. Before now, what we thought was that it's only the NNPC, which is a government agency that is solely responsible for the importation of fuel. So we're going to be looking at issues that surround the fuel crisis that we have in Nigeria today. Okay, so if we have the report ready, let us start. Let me call for some of these reports put together by our correspondents. Okay, if we are ready, let's see the first one.
Nigerians have been lamenting the sudden scarcity of the premium motor spirit known as petrol, a development which some attributed to the discovery of the adulterated fuel in circulation. It was gathered that relevant authorities reacted by deciding to stop or reduce distribution for proper investigation. However, in an ensuing development in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital, there is an heightened level of anxiety as well as confusion as some residents, in an attempt to buy fuel, alleged that some stations were not dispensing fuel and their gates were shut. When Impact News crew went round some of the filling stations in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital, some filling stations were under lock while some sold petrol. Reacting to the development, a motorist, Grace Olajide, while giving an insight into her experience, decried the adverse effects of fuel scarcity to commuters, which according to her is going to obstruct day-to-day activities as well as affect transport fares.
It was a surprise to me early this morning when my son called from Lagos, said he had been experiencing this fuel scarcity. Then I became surprised. Then over the radio, over the news this morning, that was when I heard it again the second time. So as I am going out now, I decided to check up on this place. This is my first place of call, and thus far I haven't been able their gates are now closed. So I think that probably ongoing my way, maybe I'll be able to see a filling station because my tank is almost dried now. Now there must have been a hike by all these commercial vehicles. So it means one has to add some extra money so in order to be able to board such vehicles. So those are some of the challenges. We have to add more to what you already have so that you will not be stranded on your ways.
She nevertheless called on government to ensure that petroleum products are sufficient for consumers.
Some people who are very, 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 very less privileged, not in our Nigerian situation this day, everybody is less privileged. But there are some people who are very, very less privileged. Those are some people that I pity because many of them would have some places to go. But when they see that there is already a hike in the transport fare, definitely their movement that day will be disrupted. The advice is that there should always be plans. We have been enjoying get to the filling station, get to the scenes, but this one, it is the government that will have the blame, that we have to shift the blame to. There should always be plans, most especially for Nigerian citizens. In their own case, they will not go and buy queue for fuel. It will not affect them. But it is we, ordinary citizens, that such things always affect. So I pray that this thing will not take a longer time.
Also reacting to the development, a manager at a filling station, Kabiru Akomu, maintained that there is no fuel scarcity and he has been attending to motorists. He therefore asked consumers not to panic.
I don't think there's any scarcity yet. There's no scarcity as far as I'm concerned. What I noticed is that maybe they don't have fuel. If you say station closed, it could be that they don't have fuel. You can see us selling. Motor is coming in freely. That's not changing price. The price remains the same. They should not panic. Consumers should not. They should relax.
It has become pertinent for government to ensure the availability of petroleum products across the country. Ayodele Fakeye, ITV News.
Okay, so you heard Nigerians there. It's a tale of woes. Now, the unfortunate thing is that after this time, okay, people started heaving a sigh of relief. But as at this morning, in some major cities in this country, of course, it's a return to status quo, perhaps even worse off. So what exactly is the government doing? That is the question on the lips of many Nigerians. Governance is about, okay, making life better for the people. But if the people will have to suffer, and all the government will tell them is to please give us time, appeal to the people to give them time, then it speaks or it sparks of some suspicion in the polity. Wait a bit. Who has the government actually punished for the importation of the off-spec petrol? Whether independent marketers, whether major marketers, Has anyone been punished? Nigerians are still waiting. Okay, does it mean that will be swept under the carpet? Nigerians are asking questions. Let's listen and watch another report from our studio.
Nigerians have continued to face the challenges of food scarcity as the federal government says it is working on multiple options to resolve the issue of substandard fuel which has seen national reserves coverage down by 10 days. Millions of Nigerians have been thrown into chaos amid the scarcity of fuel in petroleum outlets across the country. In a move around Ibadan, the Oyo State capital, Imperial Business Radio's correspondent observed that motorists who were able to buy fuel waited for long hours amid complaints and fish combat. Speaking on the development, a concerned citizen, Pastor Fatomi, decried the adulterated fuel in circulation. He added that the fuel scarcity is causing a lot of hardship on the people.
According to the report we had about the issue of an adulterated fuel coming into the system circulation. But based on the news that the report again from the president saying that they've given them another 3 days to work on it, we just pray that this will be solved because it's causing more hardship. Based on the fact that even there's no regular supply of electricity. You can imagine me, I've not been in the office and I'm here in order to get the fuel, in order to be able to do run rounds, even to pick my children and do other things. So it's causing a lot of hardships on people. So I just pray and it's like my request that the government will see what they can do in order to bring things to normal.
On his part, Omoyemi Adebayo noted that the issue of fuel scarcity is no issue, even as he noted that leaders in the country have politicized the issue. Adebayo called on the federal government to fix the refineries across the country, as this will ensure the surplus supply of fuel.
Several places there is no fuel, so the what is being played out is really affecting the masses. It's just such unfortunate that we find ourselves in this country that. The leader, they don't love the masses, so it's quite unfortunate. First, I will give to the federal government that they should do the needful. They should keep our refinery working. If our refinery is working, there will not be any problem. So if all the refinery we have, they repair it and it's working, then there's no problem because we dig oil here. We don't buy oil from anywhere. So we have the land that generates the oil. So, I mean, the fuel. So why do we need to be stressing ourselves to go and refine somewhere and they will still sell it for us at a huge amount? So let them fix the refinery.
They urge the government to be proactive in putting an end to challenges which can bring hardship on the people.
Because anybody don't know tambo káàkiri pàápàá fáwa tá ń lo car tá ń gbé káàkiri. Àwọn bí kọ̀ọ̀kan wà tó yẹ pa fẹ́ lọ láti gbọ́ ọmọ lọ sí school àbí láti lọ gbé ẹni tí ó bá need help assistance àrípo láti lè gbé ọkọ̀ jáde. Kódà wàhálà yẹn ti fẹ́ pọ̀ jù pàápàá ní Ọ̀yọ́ state ń bí báyìí. So ẹ jẹ́ bá ní bẹ government kan bá ní release epo yẹ kí epo yẹ tẹ̀ fi lè wà surplus.
Gbogbo epo tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ yìí ẹ bá rọ̀jọba ara ní aráàlú báyìí ara ní wá kẹ́ má bàrà nílùú àti jẹ́ àti mú àtàtọ̀rọ̀ ní. So ní ìsìn tí ọba dẹ̀ sí ọ̀nà tá a lè gbà lọ ní ìsìn láti tó bí alátàní àbí nǹkan ní ìsìn bó láti fẹ́ bó tọmọ ilé bó láti fẹ́ ṣe fún kìnní kẹjọ kẹ ṣàánú wa o.
Taiwo Ọláníwájú, ITV News.
Okay, so let's go straight into the discussion. I've got two gentlemen in the studios here with me who will be doing analysis, okay, about this particular topic, the Nigerian fuel crisis. I've got Bright Richard. Good evening.
Yeah,
Bright.
good evening.
It's good to have you.
Thank you very much.
And of course, I've got Hamilton here. A very good evening to you, Hamilton.
Good evening.
All right, let me start with you, Bright. When will this particular problem ease off? We've been on it for the past 2 weeks, and rather than for it to ameliorate in some cities, though we heard reports from our correspondent in Abuja that it's easing off, but of course in cities like Ibadan, Abeokuta, especially western cities, that is not the case. When will it ease off?
It will actually ease off when the government really wants it to ease off, because they control the supply. And when you talk about supply, they've been the one, like you said in your report, they've been the major importer, even though some reports are claiming that some persons, some major marketers are importing this product into the country. But all the same, the government has a very major stake in the market. And when we talk about major states, before this crisis started, we could remember that there have been some like a flash scarcity majorly in Abuja, and they've been a kind of like a gradual build-up in queues in Abuja before this off-spec issue came on board. I think that should be about early this year or late last year. It has been like flash coming off and on before this off-spec issue came on. And when this off-spec issue came up, from that particular time, the government have been campaigning that they've been supplying. In fact, there was a report that they've released 2 or 3 reports on the quantity of fuel that they've supplied into the market.
Now, at the point in time, the government did say that about over 2 billion
yes,
liters.
in fact, that billion, talking about 2 billion liters, Nigeria consume about 30. There are 2 reports. One talk about 40-something million liters per day. So if you have 2 billion liters, that should serve you for more than a month or 2 or thereabout. And if you have that in stock, in addition to the old stock, not the off-spec, definitely we should not be experiencing scarcity. So it's either the government is not telling us the truth, or there's something like a conspiracy going on that we are not aware of. And that's why I say the government can actually stop this scarcity if truly they want to. Let the Department of Petroleum Resources mobilize their task force, go to the street. Those who are not selling fuel, first of all, ascertain if they have the product, and if they have the product, why are they not selling, and enforce it on them. It's either you see them off or force them to sell. If they can do that, this monetary team can do that, I tell you, within a day or 2, the scarcity will be off. But for the government to be silent about it, and the Minister for State of Petroleum is coming up to say that Nigeria should be patient. The question is, what are we patient for? Are we patient for them to boost supply? Are we patient for them to mop off the off-spec petrol product in the market? Or what are we? They should be specific. So
he did say to me, Praise Silva did say that the government is working around the clock to ease or ameliorate the sufferings of the people, and as such, the people should be patient.
It's a simple logic. You said you've imported 2 billion. So when you bring in 2 billion liters of the product into the market, the next is to release the product into the market. And if you say you are working off the clock, what are you doing? Is it that the marketers are not coming to offload this product for supply, or what? So these are things they should be specific. I don't think there is something more to it than what they are just saying.
Okay, Amitin, what would you say about it? We've been on this for some time. As Bright rightly said, it started in Abuja and then later in Lagos State. Imagine what the population, those living in Lagos State, will be going through. We know this is a cosmopolitan city. Imagine what they will be going through, and it's becoming a lingering crisis. When are we going to be free?
That's exactly the question. The truth is that the fuel crisis is lingering, honestly. And last weekend in Lagos, some of us spent over 2 hours trying to get fuel.
Over 2 hours.
Terrible. And you find out that cost of foodstuff has gone up. And Nigeria, once foodstuff went up like this, for it to come down is another issue. The problem, all I'm saying is that in this country, there is no discipline. You don't discipline. Once you commit any crime, and you just go free. And even till now, those people, the marketers that imported this into the country, today have they been disciplined? Nobody have been disciplined. So why would they continue to do this kind of thing? And you know that the marketers and even the filling stations are leveraging on this, and they have been trying to hold fuel and
this
product, and the fuel, some stations are selling over 200 naira per liters, some are selling 250 per liters. So that is just all. So they are making money. People are making money from this. Seriously,
people are making money, and yet a cross section of Nigerians are suffering.
So that's Nigeria for you.
Okay, Bright, let me come back to you. No one has been punished yet, but let's talk about the inhuman nature of Nigerians, even to Nigerians themselves. There are some of these filling stations, the moment they discovered that, this thing, the moment they got a hint that fuel is likely to be scarce, in circulation, they locked up. Not because they didn't have. And so they open perhaps early in the morning or later in the evening, and they sell at exorbitant prices. So it varies. You ask some persons today, even in filling stations, some have bought 180, and you see people scampering even to get, because this commodity is scarce. And the question that comes to mind is, where is DPR? Okay, Department of Petroleum Resources. We've had situation in the past that DPR will go out selling. Now, of a truth, the Petroleum Industry Act, okay, has scrapped DPR. But don't forget that the implementation has been postponed. So if we don't have DPR, how come we are not implementing the dictate or provisions of the Petroleum Industry Act?
I think that's where a kind of like a, let's say, constitutional confusion is coming on board, because the Minister for State came up when there was this back and front in subsidy removal, subsidy staying, being on board. Remember, they are intending that the subsidy is going to last till June. Then from June there will be a removal, and that was where this back and front came up. With the PIA scrapping off the DPR. It's not as if the office have been shut down completely. So I believe if it's a gradual implementation, that's what they agreed on, that this PIA is going to be implemented in phases. And I don't think the first phase is to completely wipe off the DPR. So at this particular time, going by the claim from the government, if truly you've restocked the market with 2 billion liters, then the DPR should have swung into action. Going by the claim from the Minister for State that Nigeria should be patient, that they are working around the clock. The first move they should make is to ensure that there is a supply. The supply chain is not breached. You've brought about 2 billion into the market. Then from the tank farms or wherever they are being stored, they are being moved to the depot, from depot to the filling station. And the DPR will not ensure that these filling stations are dispensing this product, not just dispensing this product, dispensing it in their approved price. But a situation where these agencies are not functioning, they are not doing their work, it's now spread down to like a conspiracy. It's either the government knows what they are doing, or the government, or this particular arm of the government or agency of the government is being tied to a corner that they cannot really carry out their particular function. Because if they truly have the sympathy or the feelings of Nigeria at heart, this would have been the first point of call. Get these people to get this product, make sure the product is being released to them, and ensure that there is a regulation, because the average human being in business is a capitalist, and a capitalist who want to exploit every means to maximize his gain is a natural phenomenon with the human. But when you have the control agencies, these control agencies will now ensure that these people do the right thing at the right time. But in a situation when the control agencies are not working, the DPR are not going out there to enforce or make sure, because a lot of them, like if you go out there, there's a particular filling station I saw this morning, they intended to sell. In fact, they wanted to start selling. I don't know what came over them. The next thing, they shut their gen and they lock up, decide not to sell. After making people to queue, then people have to leave. So the question is, why did they change their mind? So which means they have the product and they are looking further. Maybe by the next 2 days, it may worsen. And this product, if they are to sell it, they may want to sell for 180 or 200, but tomorrow they may sell it for 250. Why not lock up and wait for tomorrow? But if there's an agency who moves around, monitor and evaluate the activities of these independent marketers, definitely to an extent you'll be able to control their excesses.
Okay, Hamilton, let's talk about the solution before I invite the people to join the conversation. Okay, Nigeria wants immediate solution to this crisis, which is becoming a lingering one. How do you think the government can solve this problem?
You see, the government has it planned. Okay, if you remember in 2015 when this government came into power, what they said that subsidies is scam. That's why the refineries are not working. And if you also remember vividly, in 2015, they told us that Port Harcourt refinery was working. We had a plan of producing on capacity, and even today, how many refineries is working in Nigeria? No refinery is working. And Buhari government that was the plan of the APC, that once they come to power, they will make sure that refineries are working in Nigeria. Today, none of the refineries is working in Nigeria. That's another thing. So how do you expect something like this? Okay, look at now in Africa. Let's go to African countries. Some of the African countries that are not oil producing nations, they are refining fuel. They refine and they refine this crude oil and they produce fuel in their country. So even Nigeria today, none of the refineries is working. So how do you expect this kind of government to work in this kind of, and look at how the masses are suffering because the refinery is not working today. So that's number one. Then number two is that we look at the government does not actually feel for the citizens, the masses of the country. They feel for the masses of the country. This fuel scarcity won't be experiencing this fuel scarcity the way we are experiencing it now, because we are importing, and by the time you begin to be like this, the independent marketer will try to hold this fuel scarcity. Not that there's no fuel. People are holding this and making profit. I just told you they're making profit of this what they are doing. Not that there's no fuel. If you go to all these stations, where is the task force? How many people will be disciplined? Nobody is disciplined. In this country, you do anything and get away with it. That's just the problem.
And it ought not to be so.
It's not to be so. If you have a company, if you are running a company and you see somebody is negligence or duty and you no discipline, the next day the person will repeat it. So that is what is going on in this country. And look at now, you are telling me the president is the minister of petroleum. President does not even, I don't think even know what is going on in that industry, in that ministry. That's it to the matter. A lot of things are going on. So before this country is able to move forward, we begin to get things right, honestly. And they is to discipline. Once you make anything, the person must be disciplined. Once disciplined, everybody will sit up. That is what is going on in this country.
And so you think that the fact that no one has been called to question?
Nobody will be brought to book. Nobody. If you believe by now, somebody should be even revoke their licenses and all those things. Nothing had happened. So why would they not continue with all these things? If you go to most of the inflation in the banana, you find out that they are fair, but they are not selling. So that's it to the matter.
Okay, let me invite the people to join the program, because we want to get a situational report from you. What is it like in your area? Kaduna State, Taraba State, Borno State, okay, Sokoto State, Colin, Adamawa State, Oyo State, Lagos State, Ondo State, Ekiti State, Ogun State, Akwa Ibom, okay, Akwa Ibom State, Delta State. What is it like in your area? Okay, so I will ask the TD to help put the phone lines. Okay, so you have the phone numbers to call. What is your own experience like? What does it look like in your area? Is it easing off? How much is it being sold? Let's get to hear from you. The number to call is right there on your television screen. Hello, good evening. Thank you so much. Please turn down the volume of your radio, of your television set. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Collins. I'm calling from Edo State.
Okay, Collins from Edo State. Welcome. What is it like in your area?
Although I don't have a vehicle, but I use transport. So the transportation in Edo State has skyrocketed.
The transport fare has skyrocketed.
Exactly. Where you used to go maybe 15 naira, they will just tell you 100 naira, 100% increase. 100%. You know, you'll be wondering exactly from what we call a pass into Square Good. They are now, it's not as much as 300 naira when you are going.
Okay, so from Ugbawa to Ring Road is how much now?
It's 200 naira. You don't price it, you don't negotiate.
From Ugbawa to Ring Road is now 200 naira.
Well, it used to be 100 naira.
That is, if you are come from a local ND, it's now 250, 300. So me, I don't know what the president is doing at all. It's really not good for an OPEC member. We are the largest producer of oil in Africa.
All right.
We have 4 refineries that are not full. Does it make sense?
Okay.
I'm very annoyed with what is going on.
Okay.
How can we port crude oil? We will not be getting petrol from where petrol will be gotten from it, we'll buy it. Kerosene will be gotten from it, we'll buy it. Ethanol will be getting from it, we'll buy it. Methanol and other paraffins from the same cruise, you want to buy them.
Okay, Collins. Let me let you go. That was Collins from Benin City, precisely. Collins called from Edo State. Thank you so much, Collins, for your time on the program this evening. Okay, that was Collins from Benin City in Edo State there. What does it look like in your area? And so Collins is saying from Iguosa to Oluku Iguosa, then to Ring Road Ugbo. It's okay. You can imagine what the people are going through. Exactly. Okay, let's get to hear from the next caller. Hello, good evening. Your name is Ovu. Your name is Ogu.
Ovu.
Yes, I'm calling from Delta State, precisely in Ugeli.
Oh, precisely from where in Delta State?
Ugeli.
Okay, from Ugeli. Ovu from Ugeli. Okay, you're welcome.
Yes, thank you. Actually, it's not encouraged at all. Like here, the problem we are facing is there's no fixed price. Some are selling at 200, some are selling at stuff like that. There's no fixed price at all. So the thing is up and down. I see the queue in all filling stations, stuff like that.
How about the queue?
Hold up everywhere. No fixed price. I really want to be, if I was suggest this modular refinery. We're doing something about this modular refinery for some time ago, but there's nothing of such. If we have modular refineries in some of these our areas, it will ease in the situation in this country in general, but we don't have these things. And we have all these things, at least where we can make things easy for all foreign countries. We don't have none of these things are even working. The government is not even talking about all these modular refineries. If they cannot build refineries, let them make modular refineries in each state. It's possible.
Okay.
To avoid, today, we don't have fixed price. Someone selling 200, 250, 180, just like that. Queue hold up everywhere.
Okay. Ovu, can I ask you this? Do we have any filling stations in Delta State selling at 250 naira presently?
Sir?
Do we have any filling stations in Delta State? Any filling stations selling at 250 naira?
It's what I already said about, but from Okada, that I can't tell you that tell you the truth or not. You can do something, tell you tell not this like this like this. So I'm already telling you this is the amount.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much, Ovu from Delta State there. Okay, we're really interested. Let's get to hear what it looks like in your area. Once you call in, please turn down the volume of your television set so that we can hear ourselves, okay, clearly. So you heard from Collins called in from Edo State. You heard Ovu from Ueli in Delta State. But of course, Bright, let me ask you this. Ovu from Delta State suggested that why is it that these modular refineries, I could recall that the Vice President, Yemi Osinbajo, when the President was away, at a time inspected, paid an inspection visit to some of these modular refineries in Edo State at that time, and perhaps that was the last that was heard. So do you agree with Ovu that, of course, if these modular refineries are put into use, it will really be of help if they are empowered?
Yes, it should be of help, because even from what he's saying, from Delta State, to the best of my knowledge, there is a completed modular refinery in between. If you are going towards Asaba.
Okay, hello, good evening. Please turn down the volume of your television set. Oh, okay, I would like to hear from you, but please let's listen to these. Turn down the volume of your television set. The moment I begin to hear my voice right there, on your phone, that means there is going to be a crisis. So first, turn down the volume of your television set in order for us to hear ourselves. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening. Thank you.
From Lagos, Aja.
Okay, from Aja in Lagos State. What's your name?
Yes. no fuel anywhere, bro. The traffic. Everybody is being on the queue. It's just start out. Anything after 2 hours, there is something. I've been on the queue since morning. This afternoon, I didn't get fuel. And it has settled glass market. We got black market every time. 4,000 for 10.
4,000 naira for 10 liters in Lagos State. Okay.
For black market.
May we know your name?
My wife is even there. I'm following.
Okay.
Okay, good afternoon, sir. When the black market are not giving value, they're not value. Now, we said we call Ogombo. From Ogombo down to Adisha, the smart one, which is 200. In summer, we're going to work and we have to wait for another time and get to work with work champions, food program, and then these are just going anyhow.
Okay.
I go and finish up from morning and wait till afternoon, evening before getting fresh at a company price. Jail. The show is not that value, like it's not a useful one.
Okay.
We need to see the days. We really need to see. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. Okay. That was Mr. Kola and his wife. Okay. They live in Aja, Ogombo area of Aja. Of course, you've heard them. Hopefully, the government will just look into this. But please turn down the volume of your television set whenever you call in. Hello. Good evening. Thank you so much. Your name and where you are calling from?
My name is Musa from the Bakita.
No, Musa from where?
Musa from Bakita.
Where? Which state is that?
Under Kwara State.
Okay, Kwara State. Mr. Musa from Kwara State, can you turn down the volume of your TV?
Yes, sir.
Okay, go ahead with your submission. What does it look like in Kwara State?
The friendly cost down in our area is 300 naira.
300 naira. 300 naira.
This police station is total 50 naira.
Okay, Mr. Musa from Kwara State. Okay, I hope we are following, okay, the trend of things. Thank you so much, Mr. Musa from Kwara State. Okay, so from Edo State down to Kwara State to Lagos State and now to Kwara State, 300 naira. That is how much it is being sold in Kwara State. Okay, Colin, let's get to hear from you. What is the situation like in your own state? But please, once you call in, kindly turn down the volume of your television set so that we can hear ourselves clearly. Okay. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening. You are on. Please turn down the volume of your television set or you move away from it. Okay, your name from Gombe?
Yes.
What's your name from Gombe State?
My name is Etiko.
Okay, from Gombe. What is it like?
Yeah.
What is it like?
The first country in Gombe is hitting hard. It's too bad.
How much is it being sold in Gombe State? Okay.
It's hard. There's a lot of queue in Gombe State.
There's a lot of queue. But are filling stations selling?
The food are selling, but there's too much queue. And the price is exorbitant.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. So, Mr. Lily from Gombe State, the queue in Gombe State. Okay, so we like the fact that we are getting reaction from different states. It's a good one. Of course, it will enable the government to know how much it needs to work on this. Okay, maybe I suspend call for now. Bright, you were talking about the issue of refinery. Ovo from Delta State suggested that these modular refineries, and a lot of people have talked about this modular refineries, saying that if only the government can maybe give license to some persons, especially in the south region, maybe we will not be where we are.
No, actually, we have, as at last month, to the best of my knowledge, we have about 17 active refinery license. And out of that active
modular refineries,
what I cannot really specify whether modular or the normal conventional refinery, but from the report from the NNPC, there are about 17 active license. And Dangote refinery is part of it, but it's only Dangote we have on board. But there's a modular refinery in Delta that has a 15,000 metric ton production capacity. There's another one at Edo State that the Edo State governor, during his election campaign, as at then, he said it is 95% complete. There is one at Enugu. So the question is, if the one at Delta that can produce 15,000, same with that of Edo State, which is 30,000, if both refineries can function, it has a capacity of meeting the daily needs of the entire South region, at least not less than 60% of their daily consumption need. So this would have gone a long way in bridging the gap when it comes to this importation.
Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Thank you so much. Just turn down the volume of your television set. Your name and where you are calling from.
My name is Timtayo from Kogi State.
Temitayo from Kogi State.
Yes, sir.
Okay, where in Kogi precisely?
Ajaokuta.
Okay, Temitayo from Ajaokuta, you are welcome. What is it like in Kogi State?
We are really suffering from this fuel fitting because in some police stations they don't have, and some say at 350 liter.
Hello, Tayo.
Yes, sir.
How much is it being sold on the average in Kogi State?
In my place, it's 350.
350 naira per liter.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so are there queues in filling stations?
Queues are very much, very much.
So even at 350 naira, people are scampering to buy, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you so much, Tayo from Kogi State. Okay, these are reports we are getting from across the country, and people are telling us what it looks like. Okay, from the north we've had calls. We had a call from Gombe State, precisely, just a call. From other northern states, let's get to hear from you. What is it like? We've got calls from the south. Let's get to hear from you. Let's look at what it is like in your area. Hello, good evening.
Hello.
Good evening, sir.
Hello, good evening to you.
Thank you so much. Your name and where you are calling from?
Yeah, I'm calling from Sokoto, Arkila Junction.
Okay, Kehinde from Sokoto, you are welcome. What is it like? Okay.
So, the liter is 220 naira here.
220 naira in Sokoto State.
Yes, Arkila Junction 2.
Kehinde from Sokoto State. Okay. Thank you so much. At least we heard you before the phone line dropped from Sokoto State. 220 naira. Hello, good evening.
Hello.
Good evening. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yes, good evening, sir.
Good evening. Your name and where you are
from Benue State.
Your name from Benue State.
Raphael from Benue State.
Okay, Raphael from Benue State. Thank you so much. What is it like?
We are also having this challenge here. Here we are buying at 220 naira per liter.
220 naira per liter. Are there queues in filling stations?
Very well.
Okay, so people are still struggling to buy at 220 naira.
Sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, what of the transportation fare?
It has increased partially. It's not that much, but there is increase.
Where precisely in Benue State are you calling from?
Boko.
Boko in Benue State. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, it's a good one. So, gentlemen, I wonder where we are yet to hear from. Maybe any of the region, maybe southeast. Let's check. The calls are coming in. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Thank you so much, sir.
My name is Honorable from Bauchi.
Honorable Idowu from Bauchi State.
Yes, I'm inside the town.
What town?
Bauchi town.
Okay, Bauchi town. Okay, so what is it like, Honorable Idowu?
Yeah, the fuel now is sold at 1,200 per 4 liters.
Okay, 4 liters, 1,200 naira.
Yes.
Oh, that would mean that maybe a liter has been sold for as high as 400 naira?
400 naira or 350.
Yes, in some places it's 300, in some places it's 400.
Are you talking of black market or you're talking of filling stations?
Yes, no, this is in black market.
Okay, black market. So does it mean people are not bothering themselves to go to filling stations in Bauchi State?
It's only one filling station in Bauchi State that is working, at the Shapa filling station.
One? In Bauchi Metropolis?
In Bauchi Metropolitan. It's finished the first government around 130.
One filling station in the whole of Bauchi Metropolis?
Yes, that's right. That's right.
So what's the transportation fare like?
Well, it's a little bit higher because where Mashima will take 150, they will demand 200. And it's a little bit higher. It's a little bit higher, not like usual.
Okay. Thank you so much, Honorable Idowu from Bauchi.
Thank you, please. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so Honorable Idowu there from Bauchi. Gentlemen, we really need to wrap up the program, but we can go on and on. I'm just wondering which region of the country, maybe the southeastern part of the country. I hope we can just get, even if a call from any of the southeastern states. I know people will be trying to call in. Now, with this bright and our meeting, what comes to your mind? Our meeting.
I think what comes to my mind is that this thing could be from the government. They are trying to create artificial scarcity.
But for what reason?
Yeah, they want to increase the price of the product. That's what they are trying to do. If you watch international market, the price of crude has increased.
And that means the price should have fallen here.
No, they don't work like that. So the price has increased. So meaning that they are going to pay additional, sourcing and all those things. So what they are trying to do is they want to create artificial scarcity so that people know at the end of the day you say they better increase the price. By the time they increase the price, people will not say okay, it's better. So that's what the government is trying to do.
That's your own impression. Okay, let's check who this person is. Hello, good evening. Please turn down the volume of your television set. Turn down the volume of your television set, please.
Are you hearing me?
Okay, it's clearer now. Your name and where you are calling from?
Yeah, I'm Moses. I'm calling from Benue State, Katsina precisely.
Okay, Katsina in Benue State. Okay, you're welcome, Mr. Moses. All right, welcome.
So just listen to me carefully, listen to me attentively. I came from I left Port Harcourt yesterday morning. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. You left Port Harcourt yesterday morning.
Yes, on getting to one of the local governments in Abia State, I discovered that we have that I can't just explain. I saw crude oil in bags. In short, I saw they were packing crude oil in bags. There were a lot of local. I asked that driver, this very place become a refinery? When they are telling me that, so what I began to ask, what are these security men? And at every junction where they refine this local diesel and petrol, you see heavy police checkpoint mount there as if they doesn't know what. So I was fortunate that I said, okay, let me pass an idea. Then I decided to sleep in that place. The next day I had to take my time. I walked into one of those villages. I saw 450 tankers parked in the forest. I began to imagine. I said, wow, what is happening here?
Mr. Moses.
The next morning, before I left that place, I saw soldiers parading that place. I was again asking when I saw, what are these soldiers doing here? They said they have come to collect their own token. That any general they post here new will have to they have to settle that general with about 70 million naira so as to allow. And when you are collecting money from the left people, at the end of the day, who will suffer it? So what I'm telling you now that Nigeria doesn't like doing the right thing. All of the generals, the head chiefs, they are giving them the money. Why not legalize that kind of this or you look for a way to empower them instead of collecting bribe? You said they are bunkering, it is bunkering. Okay, bunkering now. If you're collecting that money that will stop that bunkering, stop. You are collecting money each and every bunker. we'll contribute $1 million, they will give to one general and newly posted in that place. I feel like, wow, where are we heading to?
Okay.
Getting to Benue, I discovered that the price of fuel here is still 220.
220 naira.
You know, Benue, like where I stay in Katsina.
Okay.
It's not an industrial area anymore. People only smile when they pay salary. So that kind of place I have.
Okay.
So we don't have queue, but the price is 120.
Okay.
So Nigerians should encourage you to do the right thing. That state has become it has become refinery inside the push. Just walk around because somebody go in and there.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Moses from Katsina local government area of Benue State. Gentlemen, we really need to go. Hamilton, you're finding out the fact that the rightful thing, there are no punitive measures being meted out to offenders in this country, and that's one of the reasons why we are where we are. Your own submission, Bright.
Yes, to what he said, you remember Wike have had issues with this illegal refinery, so they are now moving from Port Harcourt to Abia because Abia is a next doorstep. And because of this smooth atmospheric whatever, so that's why they are now changing their destination from Abia to from Port Harcourt to Abia.
So does that call for any action on the part of Governor?
See, it is a wrong approach the government is using. One of these things that led to this licensing,
government here?
the federal government and the state government.
Okay.
One of these issues that led to this licensing of modular refineries because of the activities of these illegal bunkers. If they can license them, train them, and give them the opportunity to do it in a legit form, then to create employment and jobs.
Okay, if only you can turn down the volume of your television set. If only you can turn down the volume so that we can quickly hear ourselves within 1 minute.
Hello, sir.
Your name and where you are calling from as we wrap up.
I'm coming from Benue State.
Okay, Benue State, what's your name?
My name is Aka.
Okay, so what do you have to tell us quickly?
Huh?
What do you want to tell us on the program?
And the program is I'm hearing about issue of fuel. In our place we are buying fuel at 215. We are selling in black market 300 naira.
Are you part of those selling it?
No.
Okay, thank you so much. We just need to end it there. Thank you so much, everyone who's been part of the program. It's The Issues here on Impact Africa Television, IETV. I am Anuluakbo on Morning Day. Of course, next week is another time. This program will come your way, same time and same station. Stay